Alright, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. Today, I wanted to test my new INFERNOID variant. So you guys saw like a lot of different variants, but I've always liked INFERNOIDs as a going second deck. So today I tested INFERNOID Sky Strikers. It's a 60-card deck. Unfortunately, I got, second or third place, I think. No, it was second place, actually. It was second place. Now, it worked. It actually overperformed. The only game I lost today was to drawing an Atondo, a Deviati, and also it was a Tondo, Deviati, and Saitamis, and I drew like Afterburner Area Zero, so it was kind of like, it was a bad hand, but the deck got it's crazy. So I'm going to get to my list, you guys. I'd rather explain the card choices as we go along. This deck has a really high ceiling. It's very resilient to hand traps. It has a really insane going first game, really insane going second. The deck is hardcore going second, but it's capable of going first just as effectively, and my side deck is pretty nuts for going first as well. So I like it. You can do the mind games depending on the matchup. You can elect to go first with your main deck intact without siding anything, and it works fine. So it's one of those decks where you don't care about the dice roll, and it's really strong, has a really good Sky Striker, Soundman Great, and Orcus matchup due to your graveyard manipulation of DD Crows off the Soundman, off of the Infernoids themselves, and then you got cards like Shark Cannon, just really strong grind games. And the resources this deck accumulates off of just 1 and 2 cards, like 1 Ray gets you so far, 1 Void Vanishment gets you so far, 1 Void Feast. Just resolving 1 card in this deck, it can set you up for the rest of the duel. So we start off with the Infernoids. I played 3 copies of Decatron. I played 2 dads and 2 moms. I just like having 1 of each for Void Feast and then another set for Void Vanishment, for Void Imagination. Decatron's just the best one. I was originally going to play Saitamis and Atondo, but I actually just like Saitamis universally better. Atondo just aggravates me because Jingirisu's a card. Soundman Greats always banish their link to protect their card. It's just like, it's only really good, I guess you could say, against Sky Strikers theoretically, but I'd rather have 2 Saitamis and just banish 2 cards from the field, just link them off, and then special summon a mom or a dad. It's a really good card. I like it. It's good pressure. Maintaining your resources with this deck. It takes a lot of patience and skill. And at the same time, if you play your cards right and, your opponent doesn't have like 5 hand traps or 3 or 4 hand traps, there's no reason why you shouldn't stand a really good chance. Even if you don't win, you're going to put up a really good fight with this deck. And then we have 1 Jet for a Feast. And then I wasn't going to play these at first because I really don't like to draw too many Noids. That's the problem with this deck, is when you draw the Noids. I've always said that about Infernoids. They are their biggest weakness. They're the Achilles heel of their deck. But this is actually for a Feast play. When you play Soundman Greats or Orcus, you just bring out one of these, and a Decatron, and you could get 3 DD Crows. Sometimes that's better than just having negates because you could just manipulate their graveyard so effectively. Still really good cards going second, and also just normal Decatron, send this, pop a monster, special this, pop it back, or make an Omega still a cool play. It's in the realm of possibility. And Antra is my favorite little Infernoid, just because he bypasses Destruction, and also he's good against back row and monsters because a lot of back rows these days are face up. So this card is actually just insane, you guys. I definitely would be playing more, but I only have 1. So that's it for the Infernoid monsters. And now for their spells and traps, I play 3 copies of Void Vanishment. This card is a 1-card Feast. Also going second, it's a 1-card, you're dead. Essentially, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to either kill your opponent or they shouldn't lose, because it's how you resolve it. You don't play this card first. I don't understand how people are so trigger happy. This should be the last card you play. Every other card in your hand is to get any interruption out of your way. You're just kind of just sweeping. You're getting everything out of your way, getting ready for that imagination. When you resolve this, you should win. There's no reason why you shouldn't. And if you didn't win, that means your opponent was really, really good as a player. And I also played 3 copies of Into the Void. This helps my going second game because I like to go second, preferably. It loads my grave with spells for my Sky Striker portion of my deck, and also it's an active target for Void Feast. So effectively, when I side in my other 2 Feasts, I legitimately have 3, 6, 9, 12 copies of Void spells or traps in my deck, which helps my Void Feast to be live a lot more often, especially with the 3 trap tricks. So yeah, I main deck 1, even though I prefer to go second. I blind second until I know what I'm playing. Certain matchups like Soundman Greats, you can go first, and it's better sometimes when you can put up a Lair of Darkness and just tribute their guy for costs, and pretty much just get rid of their normal summon. They could just lose. When you stop their normal summon, you stop their turn. So yeah, I like still main decking the 1. It also helps with the mind games when they think they're smart. They try to make you go first and you still have a Feast. It's really good. So this is for the Infernoid portion of the deck. Imagination is it's just insane, you guys. Seriously. Theoretically, you could resolve 2 if you wanted to use Omega to put Tierra back. And you can just resolve Imagination against summon another Tierra, but it doesn't come up even though it's in the realm of possibility. So that's all the Infernoid cards for the deck. And next up for the Sky Striker cards, I played 3 copies of Ray. Legitimately, this deck only has 6 normal summons. It's the 3 Decatrons and the 3 Rays. Oftentimes, you'll just end up specialing this off of Area 0, and then you'll just normal Decatron. And the cute thing is, with Infernoid, somebody could argue and say, oh, Infernoids conflict because they special in the main monster zone off of Feast. They tribute their cells for cost, which clears your main monster zone for your Sky Striker cards to become live. So your opponent will play through 3 interruptions off of Feast, and then they'll have to worry about your Widow Anchors and your Shark Cannons and things of that nature, and you still have the grind game and resiliency of 1 Ray just getting you so much advantage, and having the follow-ups and contingencies of your Infernoids Engrave and just the grinding you can get off of just linking off into Gagari and looping your resources, just maintaining it correctly. Like I said, this deck requires patience and skill if you want to play it correctly. Don't be haphazard with anything. So 3 Ray. We play 3 copies of Engage. I also play 3 Area 0. I don't care that's hard once per turn. I'll play 3 Pot of Desires. Ass Blossom's hard once per turn. People are still playing 3 of that, so that's just retarded. Like, it's a redundant argument to say, oh, don't play 3 because you're brick. It's the same thing with Ash. Like, it's the same thing with anything hard once per turn, but I value this card a lot. Sometimes this was the only thing that would get me into my Sky Striker engine. Either just it searching a card or just popping it just so I can get my Ray. Because Ray is literally, she's engages for days. Like, literally got 2 engages today off of just 1 Ray, and that was the only Sky Striker card I saw. And then I play 3 Widow Anchors. It's still funny to kill your opponent with their monsters. 1 Afterburner, 1 Jammy Wave, 1 Shark Cannon. You can play more, but I play Infernoids. They're DD Crows, and they're a bit better than Shark Cannon, but it's still nice to be able to special summon your opponent's monsters. And I play 1 Eagle Booster, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Hercules Base. The other thing, aside from using Hercules Base to recycle your Kagari, you can actually, when you resolve Imagination and use Tierra to send them Omega, you can use Omega to put back your Kagari. So that's another interaction that the Fernoids have in synergize with the Sky Striker engine. And then Multi-Roll, which is just a godly card. So that's it for the Sky Striker cards in this deck. Now we're pretty much, these are just generically applicable cards. We have 3 copies of Gamma and Driver. This is the only hand trap I've ever played in Infernoids, like literally since they came out. Well, really, they came out around the same time, like Psyframes and Infernoids, kind of in the same time period. But this is pretty much, I feel like this is the only hand trap you need. And it's not really a hand trap, it's a negate, and it's the hand trap to hand traps, and it can't be called by the Graves unless you resolve the second one. So I like it. Theoretically, it can brick, you know, because Driver's in your deck, but at the same time, high risk, high reward, especially when Void Feast is the only play you have and they ash it and you chain Gamma and you get your Feast to resolve. Then we have 3 copies of Pankratops. Pankratops, just again, I'm trying to go second. When I go first, I like to keep 1 in inside the other 2 out so that I still have that in case, you know, I can sack off of it. And then I played 3 copies of Mine. This deck can play under Mine really effectively, not just because of Sky Strikers, but the Infernoids themselves. You can just have 1 Noid, tribute it for cost, and then you have no monsters, and your Mystic Mine doesn't die during the end phase if your opponent has 1 too. So a really good card. I do play 1 Lair because I still think Lair is such a high ceiling card that you have to have it somewhere in your deck. Just tributing your opponent's monsters for cost is insane. Terra and set rotation. And then I only played 2 Call Buys because I do have the 3 Gammas. The only thing you can't stop is Impermanence, but your Infernoids contribute for cost to make Impermanence miss his target. And then I main the 3 evenly matched as well. For the extra deck, I play 1 Grandma, 2. I just couldn't find space. In my other build, I was really doing this. I was using Tierra to send 2 more copies of Tierra because I played less Noids, but in this build, I play more, so I don't need to do that. But it is a good play if you just need to load your grave with more resources. And then I played 1 Omega. You can make this and you can send it off Tierra. And then I played double Hayate. And I played double Shizuku, 1 Kaina, and 1 Kagari. This is really all you need. You can just continually recycle it all with the Hercules base. I do play Hida. It's good. It's actually really good in the Salmon Gray matchup, of course. If there's a mirror match, that's good against that. And then the Nightmares. And I also played Bomber instead of War Sword because this gives me a really aggro play. And you can actually trigger this off of your Void Feast and Shark Cannon and things of that nature. And then finally the side deck, I sided Triple Judgment, Triple Strike, 3 Trap Tricks.
Triple Warning?
Triple Warning, yeah. Triple, what's it called? Torrential Tribute. Double Feast. I didn't want to main 3, but I definitely, you need 3 period. And then I played the Seer. I think this card is actually insane. It's a really good card because sometimes like you'll have an interaction where you want to keep Decatron for the negate, so you'll tribute something else for cost, and then they'll chain like a Widow Anchor, and you could chain this. Also, this has a graveyard effect that's extremely relevant. I think there's no reason why you shouldn't play this in your Infernoid deck, period. And that concludes the deck profile, you guys. You guys can see this deck in action another time, but we really got to bounce. So thank you guys again for watching it. Peace.